All right, we have breaking news. We're taking you live to a briefing with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office on the deaths of 4 people in an Avila house fire.
I want to first start off by explaining that this is still an active criminal investigation, and there's certain steps that we need to make and take to make sure this investigation is conducted as thoroughly as possible and impartial to everybody involved. So there's some information that we may not give out until we determine it's appropriate. We need to make sure that we treat these victims and potential family members with respect and make sure that everything's done properly. If other entities choose to release information prior to we're comfortable with that, that's their responsibility. But we are not going to do that to those families and those victims. Today, we spent part of the day at the crime scene. We've had throughout the last 2 days over 70 law enforcement personnel out here, 10 crime scene technicians. And as most of you know, this house and the fire, there was a lot of damage due to the fire and water. So it's taking us an extremely long time to process a scene. We have to make sure that every piece of evidence is measured, photographed, and some of it requires just sifting through the debris to determine if we can locate any pieces of evidence. We've also spent the day with the medical examiner's office in trying to identify the bodies that were located and determine their cause of death. At this time, that has not been completed. What I can confirm to you is that all 4 individuals were shot. We are not going to advise of the location or the cause of it until the medical examiner makes their determination. And we will release that as soon as possible, and we know everybody wants that information, but we're going to make sure it is perfectly correct and accurate. A number of things I can confirm for you is that we did confirm yesterday that Mr. Campbell did purchase an exceedingly large amount of fireworks at Phantom Fireworks on Sunday. We can also confirm that he purchased several gas cans at a local home improvement store that same day. A firearm was recovered in the residence that was registered to Mr. Campbell. We're not going to go into the specifics of that, but it was recovered. We plan to spend the next several days, again, continue to process the scene and as quickly as we can identify those victims and the cause of death.
This is Candace McCowan from News Channel 8. Tell us about the process of identifying those victims and the difficulty that you heard the medical examiner was having.
Part of the issues is we have to make sure either through DNA or dental records that it is absolutely those individuals, and we need that to be correct for those victims and potential family members.
Do you have a working theory as to what happened here?
We're not going to get into theories right now. We're considering every option to be fair. There are a number of them on the table, but we do not believe that the community, the Avila community, or any of the individuals that live in there are at danger. We feel they're safe in their homes.
Do you have any suspects?
We're not going to get into that detail right now. It was an automatic firearm, and we'll leave it at that at this time. We're not going to say it this time. Again, guys, a lot of this is very active, and we want it to be a complete and thorough investigation, so some of the details we will release.
What's the significance of the fireworks? Talk about what the significance of the fireworks.
I can't speak for anybody, but the fireworks could have been used to ignite and keep the fire aflame.
Were they spread out throughout the house?
There were fireworks throughout the residence.
Colonel, there is an urban myth going around that was not addressed yesterday, so I'm going to go ahead and ask the question.
If you could just speak up.
About it, an urban myth. There were reports, several, on social media that the victims had fireworks strapped to their heads. Can you speak to that?
I have heard of that. That was not what we found during our course of the investigation. There were fireworks located all over the residence, but not strapped to anybody's head.
Have they completed processing the crime scene?
No, we're still going to be out here for at least another day, and just depending how quick it goes between the heat and making sure we go through everything thoroughly. We'll be here as long as we need to. We want to make sure we capture everything.
How much gas was purchased?
That I don't have for you at this time. We're still, guys, it's still a very active investigation, and we're following up leads, and some of that, we're not going to give it out at certain times until we're comfortable.
Where was the gasoline purchased?
I don't have that information yet.
Are you able to say whether this man, Mr. Campbell, made any direct contact with anybody in the evening hours before this happened?
That's some of the process we're still going through, and we're not going to get into the details of that at this time. We'll release it when we're comfortable, but there are still some things we need to do.
Is there any issues with that or any issues that we're...
That's issues we're exploring. We're not leaving any stone unturned on this case.
Colonel, when should we expect another update from you?
As soon as, most likely tomorrow, and as soon as we can, we'll get that information to you. We're just working with the ME and trying to make sure everything's done properly.
And you're still saying that the community is not in any danger? You're
Correct.
That, even though they're performing.
We feel
All right.
that.